That's my good
In
stuff.
accordance with the Open Public Meeting Act of the State of New Jersey, adequate notice of the meeting of the Franklin Township Environmental Commission was made by posting on the bulletin board in the municipal building, posted on the town's website, and electronically transmitted to the officially designated newspapers, indicating that this meeting would take place in the municipal building at 7 p.m. on August 19th.
Yep.
Is that right? Okay, roll call. Oh, here's a pen. Walter?
Here.
Ted?
Here.
Easy?
Here.
Stan?
Present.
Arnold's not here.
He's not gonna be here tonight.
Yeah,
Oh,
no,
he-
he said that
Yeah.
he was picking up his wife at the airport.
Yeah.
Okay, that's
Robin,
an
you're
excuse.
here? Maria?
Here.
Eleanor?
Ellen.
Ellen? Okay. Tara? And Ed's in Chicago.
Yes, true.
That counts as being here. Okay, I have just a short thing. And I noted on the web, but I didn't see it anywhere else, but if you all heard, the zoning board rejected 2 requests for land to be subdivided. The one was the planning board. That was the one where they wanted to divide up a conforming lot into 2 non-conforming lots.
Exactly. Well, there were 2 of them. One we rejected. One was postponed for him to come up with some other ideas. I have a feeling it'll be rejected eventually.
Was that one that we looked at here? One had a lot of trees, and they were gonna go
No,
cut the trees down?
no. I mean, these were just, well, the
Subdivision.
one at Hamilton Street and Wheeler Place on the corner, they had 25,000 square feet where 18,000 would be required, and they wanted to divide it into 14,000 and 11,000. I would,
Yeah.
no excuse.
So I wanted people to know about that. So, also, I wanted to mention that while the B9 warehouse thing is going to be in court in September, demolition of 2 vacant homes at the corner of Metlows and Schoolhouse Road is underway. They've been taking the houses down. And the first...
Confident they are.
It says, I wrote, the first court hearing on this suit is due to overturn the rejection of the B9 warehouse will be heard September. The 2 houses on the property are on the property of the proposed warehouse. And the question people are raising is, did they get a permit to do this? Don't you need a permit to take down buildings?
Yeah, you do.
I don't know, there's no signs or anything, but the backhoes and the wrecking stuff and dumpsters are doing it quick. The houses were empty, but they've been empty for a year and a half.
My question would be, how old were the houses?
Well, one they paid almost $3 million for, and the other one they paid about
Because I would be concerned
It was
about,
successful extortion.
hazardous
Successful
materials
extortion,
like
yeah.
asbestos, lead-based paint.
Who would know if there's with the construction department, the building
I think
department?
a demolition permit,
Yeah, you need a demolition permit.
The zoning officer.
So they're jumping the gun a little bit, I think, but, hopefully you do. Okay, so that's my report. Approval of the minutes from August 5th. Ted, did Arnie make any changes? You have any changes? Motion to accept the minutes.
I think I sent out a new, I think about Saturday, I sent out a new version with
Yes.
some additions that stand there.
Well, okay.
And I think that's what Harrison
I
did.
move to approve the minutes.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
I abstained, I was not there.
Okay. That takes care of the minutes. Public comment. Motion to open the meeting for public comment.
Move to open to the
Second.
public.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Bill, any comments? No comments.
Move to
Motion
close.
to close.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Close that, okay. Correspondence, nothing comes in the mailbox anymore. It's been empty for about 2 months.
Yes, and everything probably just will get sent electronically. And we have no emails either to respond to.
Okay.
We did get one email, I should say, from Jan Brandt, and she
Oh,
was just
yeah.
asking about if we have site plan review tonight.
She asked
And I
me
told her
that.
the two that we're doing, which are very small, so but I sent her the information.
I got a phone call from Debbie Stewart, who comes also, asking the
Okay.
same question. Okay, so we're done with site reviews. Oh, no, we haven't started it.
Correspondence, yep.
We're just gonna start those.
Yeah, so I just did both of them because they were pretty quick and it was my turn really anyway, so I just did both of them at the same time. The first one is, let's go, it's called, hold on, we have Carl Bampo Perry. It's a variance application, so I have the, I'm sorry, give me 1 second. Let me just get my green land development checklist up here. Okay. So, this is for an addition to an existing single-family residence. It's at 19 Montrose Road in the Somerset section. I'll show you a map in a second. The total acreage of this site is a little over 1/4 acre. There is an existing 2,227 square feet of existing improvements. That includes a house, a carport, a shed, a patio, not a patio, a deck. They are going to be adding 701 total feet, and 505 of that is the addition to the house, which will include a kitchen, a breakfast area, a bathroom, a vestibule. And then the remainder of that, which I think is 196 square feet, is for an outdoor patio and stairs. The reason they're coming to the zoning board is they need some variances. It's for rear yard setback. The required rear yard setback is 40 feet. The applicant is proposing 31.41. The lot coverage permitted is 30%. The applicant's proposing 39.94. And the building coverage requirement is 20%, and the applicant is proposing 26.44%. So slightly over on everything. There's no wetlands, forest area, T&E species, flood hazard area on the property whatsoever. I looked into that. Let me show you this. So this is the property right here. Let me back this up. So this is Montrose Road. This is the property. You can see it's mostly covered by the existing house and carport and shed as it is.
Where's this?
I'll show you the addition.
Taking down the street.
These are not minor additions.
Yeah.
In percentage.
So here's the existing split level. The addition is back here. And here's the carport and the driveway. So basically it's behind the house. So the house is this. So it's basically back here in this empty section. They're not proposing to remove any trees.
That tree they don't want to remove?
This section right here is where they're putting on, it's a
Ah.
small 500 square foot addition with some steps and a patio then. Like I said, there's no wetlands or anything on there.
How about we recommend a rain garden, because they're increasing the pervious cover by
Yes.
33%. So if what's left became more pervious, because lawn acts, even Susan Bishop, the woman that was here from Watershed Institute, explained that traditional lawns are almost like an impervious cover now.
Right, very true.
So if they took some of the existing lawn and made it a rain garden, so they help make up for this increased impervious cover.
Oh,
Okay, that works.
Or maybe also as an alternative to suggest underground rainwater storage.
Or underground.
How about
as opposed to like maybe rain barrels?
That's soft promise because
Yeah, we can
you
recommend that
take
for
it
sure.
in and out. But if it's underground, it's permanent.
So that's basically that. So that's a pretty simple, straightforward one. Does anyone else have any comments or questions on that? Okay. The other one, which is the only other one we have to do, is Janssen Pharmaceutica. This is before the planning board. What they are permitting is, it's actually called a hot box, is what the name of it is. And it is it's a fire prevention measure. Basically, it's also, they need to put this in to meet the town's requirements for utility pits. So it's an above-ground heat enclosure that protects and insulates water backflow preventer and valves, commonly known as a hot box. It also has an underground water meter. Franklin Township actually has requirements in place to require this utility pit, and the township approved this proposal back in October of 2022. They're just getting around to building it now. I'll show you a map of that. I'll show you the plans. Let me just get to that. So we kind of bounce back and forth.
That's the one at the corner of Cottontail and Western.
It's at 1 Cottontail Lane, yes. This one's before the planning board. So this one is before the planning board, so they don't require zoning board approval. And I'll show you the site plan. Okay, I'm gonna blow it up, just give me 1 second here. So this is their property, it's at the corner of it's at 1 Cottontail Lane. And this all is their property, and what they're proposing is in this area right here. And as you can see, it's this small proposed underground meter chamber, and then here's the above grade hot box enclosure.
So it's a setback issue, is the.
Yeah, so the reason that they need to come before the planning board is that the frontage required is 50 feet, and there's only gonna be 21 feet there.
And they screen it with some greenery?
They could.
It already is, I think that area is.
Yeah, they're not affecting any trees. Let me get the map up just so I can show you that, where it is. So you can see. Here. That's the roof, yeah, what you're looking at. So this property here, this is their whole property. Just give it a second so I can get rid of this.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, it's covered. Now they are proposing, so make sure I have the
Is
exact
it
rates.
along the Cottontail or?
Hold on one
Yeah,
second.
it's
Right by the
Yeah,
turn.
it's right by the, whoop. Sorry, I'm having a,
It's right at the Cottontail Road, so.
yes, it's along Cottontail, so this is, yeah, where the curve is, so they are basically, it
Lane.
looks like they're proposing it,
It's not a thing.
It's up by the,
Yeah.
right there.
it's over here.
There?
No, it's
No,
on the
down
right
there.
of
It's to the right.
large building,
In the-
Here?
Right there.
Yeah.
Down a little bit.
down a little more.
Let me look at the plan, hang on, I wanna see where this is.
See, it's towards the bottom of that thing.
Yeah, see if
Oh, yeah, so here, what is it, I just wanna see what this is real quick.
There's a wetlands in the back there. There's a flood line.
It's a great.
So up here, they're replacing this little area here with
Has a
vegetation.
flood line from
Yeah.
canal.
Yeah,
Yeah. it's well,
There is an application on the lot right next to it to build a warehouse, which
Back
was turned down and then
and-
they come back with a smaller warehouse, but I don't think that's been heard yet.
yeah. It looks like from just looking at it here in more detail, so that there is an oak tree in here, right here. And this, I think, also is an oak tree, so maybe we can make a comment. I mean, they're not removing it, it doesn't, oh, they're not removing it. No, they're not, they're just putting it right up against it.
It's required by the town.
Yeah,
They don't have any choice.
So the lot line is that solid line.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's just next to the road.
And this is Cottontail. And this is, just to give you some reference, 623 is Weston Canal Road.
Yeah, that's what it's.
So this is Weston Canal, this is Cottontail
The
here.
lower lot is all wooded. This
Yeah.
317, 517.
Could you please zoom at the section where they want to propose the project? And a bit down? Or,
I think it's right in here.
no.
Closer to the bottom corner.
Closer to the bottom
portion, yeah.
Yeah.
What's is in that area right now?
What is in this area right now?
Nothing.
Well, it looks like there's two trees we know for sure in here.
It's a little bit above it, I think. Yeah,
What's the
so-
tan?
A little, what's this?
That's the size of
That's a loading dock. or something.
Yeah, that is a concrete patio, it says. Concrete patio and
There is-
trench drains.
So there
And
is
loading
no-
docks.
That's loading
Yeah,
dock.
it's like a block.
Yeah, there is nothing.
Parking anywhere near.
Maybe some bushes, but it's okay.
I think if there's any vegetative screening,
No,
could be considered.
yeah. They're not taking down any trees, and it's an open area.
But if they've got 20 feet to work with, put some shrubs in there. or
I
trees.
think what they are doing is kind of resilience project, maybe backflow prevention.
Yeah.
Is that gonna be above ground? The top of it will be above ground?
So the hot box portion is above ground. I'll get back to it now. So this one is above ground, and then this is an underground
Backflow.
water meter chamber.
Right.
But yeah, this part will be above ground.
Yeah.
You said originally about fire prevention?
It's for fire prevention, yeah.
So that's something else. Okay.
That's it.
I
Site
think,
plan
I
review.
think there's nothing really we can see reasonable.
I have just quick questions. Some time ago, we had a review for 400 Atrium Drive.
Right.
Remember, it was a commercial building.
Yeah.
Was it approved?
It's never come before the planning board.
I was just passing by and I noticed that they are taking the building down. So since there was a question about whether permit is needed, so I was just curious whether.
I'm trying to remember. No, actually, I think that one we've acted on. The next one at 500.
Yeah,
has not come
400,
before the board.
that was in 2022 is when we discussed it, 400 Adrian.
Yeah, that one we did.
I'm not sure it's 400. It's those two triangles. That looks like.
Let's see.
Well,
It's
it was-
near there, right?
There was some that were going in the back that were taking down something. And
Yeah.
They were gonna build.
Yeah, that one.
This one here?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 400 to 600 Atrium Drive.
Because I
And-
noticed that some of the windows are destroyed.
Okay.
And you can look inside and it's kind of vacant.
Oh, all right. We reviewed it back in 2022.
So I'd assume that it must have been approved.
Where'd it go? Planning board, we said? I would
That
actually.
was planning board, yeah. 'Cause
Okay, that was the,
Yeah.
There were certain trees, there was a sort of a pond in front, and there were some fair-sized trees just behind that, and I insisted that they save those trees. I think we did.
yeah, it's not even on the website anymore, so I'm not 100% sure.
Never mind. This is that old and it would.
The
No, it
bottom
was there. It
the
was
bot-
there.
The bottom one was 400, 600,
Yes.
and that sheet you just had.
Oh, yeah, that's just the tracking sheet, just so I can find the number of what it is. That's our tracking sheet, not
Oh.
planning board, yeah.
Oh.
Let's see it in here. All right, any other questions or,
There's
There's 500.
500 there.
but this is a different
That's
number.
a different number, yeah.
That number is 013, what Stan is talking about.
Yeah.
So how come that 500 would be somewhere else when we have 400 and 600 sitting next to each other?
I don't know, sometimes they name the projects like they named it 400 to 600, this one's named 500.
Maybe it's odd, even size.
Yeah, it could be.
That's the thing. Well, the last digit should be odd, yeah.
All right, so anyone have any other comments or questions?
No, thank you.
Alrighty.
Okay. So that takes care of our site review and gets us to new business. Tara has down pursuit of electric vehicle adoption leadership certification.
So yeah, so based on the last meeting, we had voted to apply for the certification for the eval, which is the electric vehicle
Adoption.
adoption
Leadership,
leadership.
yeah.
Yes. I went through the system, I filled out everything, I got a confirmation, but then I had some sort of technical issue, so Stan looked into it.
Well, because you didn't specify total number of parking spots.
Oh, okay. So Stan and I are gonna talk about this after tonight's meeting.
And by the way, I thought that we have agreed that we will do the main site here and the DPW but you did the youth center instead. Was it on purpose?
I did the main building here,
Yes.
and so when I was talking to Bob about it,
Mhm.
I did put in for DPW. Did I put in? Oh no, I didn't put in for DPW because those are not employee spots, right? Is that, or you still want me to put in
Yes,
for
but,
it?
well, that's
DPW
assumption.
should be employee spots.
Well,
I think it's supposed to be to charge your vehicle, like you, when you drive to work,
well,
not, am
I
is
think
that right? or-
that Bob didn't get it properly, what we
Okay.
wanted to say. We wanted to say that the charging stations that are currently in use only for the fleet should be opened to the employees. The township cannot do it, it's gonna be hard. Because even for this side, you specified only two charging spots.
Right.
Which are only the public.
Right.
So,
That's why I added the youth center in, because I figured, oh, that'll give
and
us
in
an
youth center,
extra. Yeah.
the parking is also public. There is
Right.
no official employee only, right?
No.
And to define the total number of parking spots, it becomes tricky if you essentially ask your employees to share the parking spot with or the public, use the public parking spot because there is no dedicated employee. But the system is asking for that number. So what I was about to suggest is that we would look into the number of employees that are on site at a time. Like, I don't know how many employees are within Franklin, but how many would you envision are working on this site at a time? That might well be a tricky question, but the only section here that has employee parking is in the back, and that's for the police officers.
Right.
But everyone who works here, they park around
Yeah.
on the public, right?
They do. The only thing I'm confused about, so they would have to, it would have to be one of those spots by the charger, right?
Actually,
And
some
there's only
of
so
the,
many spots that
Wait,
can be
yes.
used.
some of the parking places in the large public area that away, you know, that you have to go to if you can't use the ones right on the drive. If you go further in, some of it is reserved for, I don't know whether it's township vehicles.
But it's still township vehicle, it's not
No.
employee,
Yeah,
it's not
Yeah.
employee. Employee is only in the back here for, and it says
Yeah.
police employees, right?
Yeah.
And it says, if actually the way how I know it, because I went through the Google Street View, and if I can do it, then fourth, that is developed the entire program that is auditing it, they can do it as well without coming here, right? So, since we're already talking about it, I would really go back to Bob and ask whether the township can allow employees to use those 10 charging spots that are today used only for the fleet, and they could be used by employees only during the day, while the fleet vehicles would be charged during the night. Do you know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, yeah, I'm just wondering, I know what you mean, exactly.
I can see his objections, but the thing is, the goal of this certification is to really celebrate employers who encourage their employees to drive electric and allow them to charge. So unless the township will say, hey, here are the 10 spots, and you can use them, then, I mean,
We're not worthy of recognition.
I mean, I would still file it with the two, okay, as a compromise. And instead of gold, you will get bronze, okay?
Yeah.
But,
Because those two out there that are by the charger, right? So there's two spots that are for the electric vehicle charger, but they're not designated just for employees.
I
So,
know, but you
yeah.
can stretch it, that's okay.
All right.
That's, and in that case, I would consider a number of employee parking spots, only those that are considered for this specific building, not for the police.
Only for this building, not police.
Yeah. So whatever number Bob and you guys can figure out are sitting in the building in some sort of average scenario.
But then it would only be the 2 spots that are available for all those employees, is that right or no?
Yeah.
Okay, and that's
yeah,
okay?
That's okay.
Okay,
You
all
just
right,
will have only 10 points out of that.
got it, okay, all right, I'll talk to him.
Wait a
then.
second, not 10. You get 2 points per level 2, so you will get 4 points for those. But you will get 4 points because they are Energy Star certified.
Right.
You get 4 points because the site review was done, of
Right.
course. You backtrack essentially. If you have biking program, if employees can bring their bike and park it safely, if they have electric bike and if they can charge it here, you get another 5 points. So it's not just about the charging
Right.
stations, it's also about everything that is around the theme of sustainable transportation, sustainable commute.
Yeah. So yes, I asked them because there was questions about, is there flexible like working hours, I guess, if you ride your bike or whatever, but we don't have anything like that.
And listen, all these numbers, you don't have to sweat it.
But we're working on a micro-mobility.
We are, that's why we have the study going,
You
yes.
can mention it.
And this
Yes,
study, you can
I
actually
did.
claim points for that.
I did, I put that in
Right,
there,
right.
so, yeah.
Yeah, so back to DPW, we kind of cut it. For DPW, again, Bob would have to agree that, that there will be official email that will say you can use those 2 charging stations in DPW as long as you are working there, right? And make sure that, the township vehicles can get charged during the night and the employee can charge during the day.
Right, yeah. I think Carl, right, Ted is gonna also have to approve that. With Carl and then Bob, or?
So all the township vehicles are charged at the DPW? I thought they were mostly charged here.
Yes, yes. In DPW, they have 2 charging stations.
Right.
Whether they have 2 vehicles or 3, I typically see 2 vehicles there. And they typically leave them parked at the charging station. Now they will have to be a little bit of mindful that when the vehicle is charged, technically they should put it on the sun.
No.
And, I'm not saying that anyone who is currently working at DPW drives electric, but the spots should be really made available to them and it should be communicated to them so that there's some sort of soft encouragement, hey, and by the way, we don't charge you for charging, They could program it for whatever price, but
Yeah,
I would say for
All right.
employees, leave it as a benefit. And, for a long time, it's going to be formal because nobody there drives electric,
right,
right? But then again, you will need to have the number of parking spots for employees. And you can think about the same, how many employees in DPW work at a time? Is it
Okay.
10, is it 20? I don't know.
okay,
But I would call this as a number of parking spots for employees.
okay. All right, let me see what I can find out then that way, and I'll find out what the
And
situation
the same is for the youth center.
Same for the youth center,
right?
okay.
Because the youth center, the public parking has, I'm taking guess, 30 spots, right?
Maybe.
2 of what?
I said maybe.
Maybe, maybe, something 30,
Yes,
40.
it's not huge. but-
Right, youth center. And 2 of them are equipped with charging, right? So you don't want to report that you have 30 spots for employees, but only 5 or 10, depending on how many employees are in the building under normal time.
Okay. All right, let me find that stuff out
Roughly.
then.
It doesn't
Okay,
have to be exact.
got it. All right, let me see what I can find out, and then I'll continue working on it. But, so we're working on it, basically seems like we just have a few little things to find out for it, and then we can go ahead with
Yeah.
submitting it. But
And
the
if-
bulk of it is
Right. And if you
it.
give me these numbers by email, that's fine. You don't have to log in back.
Oh, okay, good. Perfect.
I mean, you can choose. You can.
No,
log
I'll
back.
send it to you, because, yeah, okay.
And I think it's good PR for the town that the council can say we're doing this for our employees.
It's definitely
Right.
good because, and this is fairly new. SAIC has it, Cranford, and we are exploring.
Corporations do it for their employees, why can't Township? Retention.
Rutgers has a number of states.
We have contacted Rutgers. Rutgers pushed back. They said, we have some project, we want to complete it, and then we'll file at the beginning of 25. So,
They started out, I was mainly aware of ones in Livingston, but maybe they're putting in others elsewhere.
oh, the Dundee. Oh,
Douglas?
yeah, I think it's the Livingston. What's the department? It's next to the solar array.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that one was among the first. But then you guys have it, or I'm saying you guys, because Rutgers has an eco complex, and they have many other spots. So,
Okay.
and
Since I rarely go to Rutgers anymore. I'm
Kate
just
Building,
aware.
Kate Building, do you know this one? CAIT. It is.
Center for Advanced Infrastructure and Transportation.
Correct. Yeah, they have. This is also very old station.
Can we move on?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Okay. Micro-mobility study.
So I got some comments from Paul. I don't know if anyone else had a chance to look it over since the last meeting. Paul's comments were that he recommends that the traffic department and of the police review this so that they can look it over and give their input, which I think is a great idea. He wondered how it would affect emergency vehicle access and response times, which I think again is another thing that we should, have it looked over for that. And also there's a significant cost to complete many of the recommendations. Is it something the town will support? And I think, having all the projects in place and understanding that there are grants available, access to that library through NJTPA for the temporary improvements, I think the town is very supportive of that. So
Do we
I
have
love
a
that
sense
comment.
from the consultant about if we did this project in 2025, what this would cost? Are we
In
talking $100,000, are we talking?
Well, there's a few
22,000?
different recommendations there, and I think it depends, from striping is pretty easy, but some of the larger projects, they didn't give us cost estimates on, but.
There's areas where they want to have a little island come out from the sidewalk.
Yep.
So you narrow it.
Yep.
Manville just did that the whole town.
Yep.
And it's not cheap.
We've done it all over Montreal, and it works so well.
Oh,
It
it
slows
does.
everybody down, it makes you pay attention to bicyclists, and it creates more green infrastructure.
It does. No, it works great, absolutely.
I just wonder if we wouldn't be wise to, if for no additional money, they could say package A, right now in today's dollars would cost X, package B would be plus Y, so that we know what grants to go after.
Yeah, we can ask for that. That is probably not gonna be under the purview of the cost because that's gonna take them some work to go through and come up with a cost estimate. But maybe I can see if they can give us like
Real
one.
real round.
Yeah.
If they've done this for other towns, they'll have some ballpark.
Yeah, and they might say, we did something similar in plus or minus
Yep.
$20,000.
Yeah.
I think just so we have a sense, do we aim for a $100,000 grant or do we go for a $20,000?
Right.
Well, I did review it. Well, two things I don't think will happen. One is a pedestrian bridge over Mile Run. And the other is making Magnolia one-way for vehicles, for motor vehicles.
That would be rough. That would be rough. I use Magnolia.
Yeah, I mean, there were just not that many cross streets. I mean, basically to get from, say, from JFK to Demont Lane, there's Easton Avenue, there's New Brunswick Road, and there's Magnolia, and there's Amwell. And Magnolia is in the middle, you take that one out. Well, anyway, I don't.
Maybe there's
Plus, of
another
course,
way
there are
to,
people living along.
maybe there's a better way to slow down traffic and make it one way.
You know,
Yeah.
that one, yeah.
Yeah. I do like the parking alternatives that they put in there, like turning like 3 or 4 spots into the bike corral. Like I think that's a relatively
Yeah,
easy
one of my
fix.
thought was, do we have any parking for bicycles at the municipal building?
I think there is, if I recall correctly, 1 bike rack that I know of. I don't know where the other ones are,
Yeah.
but we probably need more for sure.
Yeah,
Turning some of the parking spaces in our parking lot into a bike area might be, and that doesn't really cost a lot of money, you know, it's removing striping, it's getting,
Putting in a bike repair station.
the bike repair station.
We're asking people to do it on plans. We should be
Yeah.
willing to
Yeah,
do it here.
and that's something we absolutely can get a grant for. That we can definitely get a grant for. So that's, maybe we start off with some of those, but I really also do like the path they proposed between the youth center and the school. I think that's schools. I think
Oh,
that's a
yeah.
great idea.
So what's the next step? What do you do?
So the next step is I'm gonna send comments to them to make any changes to it, then the document will be final. I'd like to do a presentation of it to the Township Council. I would love to do that if they'll have us. And then we use this plan, basically I can start researching grants. I think what we should do, let me back up, before we research grants, I think we should go through and make, like, prioritize projects. And then I can start looking for grants based on the priority.
Right.
You know, I think that's the next step, like basically
So
making
we-
an Excel sheet of.
Right,
what-
we should read it again carefully, and then if you can identify the elements and make a list,
Yeah,
we can help to prioritize.
yeah, and then we can keep a list of what grants are available, and then the
Yes.
priority might be, this grant is available now, so that
Right.
become, or it might be, we really wanna piece together grants because we want to do this one big project, I don't know.
Does Trails Committee have any input on
So the
this?
Trails Committee has also reviewed it, they're sending me their comments, their meeting was just last week. But they were very happy with it, they were really happy
And
with
if,
it.
when you go to present it, if we can get some of them there in council chambers, and we're there in
Yeah.
council chambers,
Yeah.
they get the idea.
Absolutely, yeah, the Trails Committee was very happy with it, they liked the biking, anything that can connect, they really liked how one of the proposed routes brings you by Inman Park, it brings you to Middle Bush Park, it has the JFK walking path there, so there's a whole connection
And
to
maybe
their
some
trails
of
plan.
the youth center, friends of the youth center, or
Mhm.
families of the youth center
Yeah,
might like to come
absolutely.
support it.
Agree. So that's really the next step. This is gonna be the foundation that when we apply for a grant, we can say, see attached plan, and that hopefully will give us a leg up over
It
other.
looks very nice.
It does, they did a great job.
Oh, yeah,
They
good.
did a great job, yeah, I'm happy with it, so.
And they may know other towns that are starting to get funding, and they can point us to some of these resources.
Yeah, so they're the ones, NV5 are the ones that told me about that library, like you can get bollards and whatever it is, they're the ones that brought that up, so they know a lot of places too, which is great.
I would think that if we paint stripes to set off bicycle lanes, thereby narrowing the motor vehicle lanes, that might slow
Yep,
traffic down over
absolutely.
there, because that's what they tell you to do this
Right.
time.
Yep.
So
Well,
Narrow
one of the
that
comments,
lane.
one of the items they put in there as well was, it's called daylighting, and that's where at the corner of 2 intersections, you basically just paint a white box with the stripes in it, so
Yeah.
no one can park there.
I know an
That's good.
I know an intersection in New Brunswick that needs that.
Right, I'm
If
sure.
you're,
Great
Okay.
start.
Okay, so, item C is the award for Franklin Township's local
I'll
health.
send
center.
you some of them.
Yeah, send them to me, because I'd like to send them over to NV5, like, by the end of the week, so just send them
Yeah.
to me. Thank you, Ted.
So you got an award.
We won an award from the New
Wow.
Jersey planning officials for the local health assessment, and it is for, I have here, I got it in the mail while I was on vacation. It actually
you
came as a
submit for
letter. I submitted for it, I did submit for it, I sent it in. And yeah, it came to my house, which was funny, but that's where it came to, so. Yeah, so it says it's been selected for the 2024 New Jersey Planning Officials Achievements in Planning Award, which is great. So they have, the mayor was invited, he gets a complimentary ticket to their breakfast, which is September 27th. And,
It's the morning of the
September
NJAC
20th.
conference.
yeah, I
That's
think it
Friday.
is, yeah.
Yes, that's Friday.
But the mayor, I'm not sure if he will be able to go, I'm assuming he probably will, if he can't, I'm gonna talk to Bob about it and see, how many people can go, but that's really great. So I just want to let you know that.
Congratulations.
Yeah, I'm
Maybe
excited
Sappy
about
should take a
that.
bow.
Yes, thank you. Well, maybe I told Sappy we should go, you know? Yeah, so maybe we
Where
will.
is it? Is it far away?
No, it's actually at the Pines Manor in
Oh, in
Edison.
Edison.
Yeah, it's not far at all.
This is from whom?
From the New Jersey planning officials.
From New Jersey.
So yeah, so that's exciting, but it's good, it's also really, because they'll put it on their website, they have a newsletter they send out, so they'll put it
So
in
when we
there.
apply for another grant, we can
Yeah.
say that the plan was.
Absolutely, like the micromobility plan, that was kind of born out of the local health
Yeah.
assessment, so it gives us more.
Credibility.
Yes, it does, so I'm excited about that.
Can you
So.
send me a copy of that?
Yeah, I'll make one for you, just
Good,
remind me,
okay.
yeah.
But it should go on the website.
Yeah, we should put it on the website. They didn't send it to me electronically. I just got a letter in the mail, so I'll scan it, I'll put it up there, yeah. So that's really good, so we're excited about that.
I can post it in my newsletter.
Yeah, definitely.
Now it's sitting in the email too.
Yeah, it'll be great, yeah. Oh, actually, yeah, I should get it in the Franklin, I want to still take it, well,
That would be a
Sappy,
place to
so,
put it,
yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Sure.
And then the micromobility, I guess it needs to be approved by the council, and then we can put that on the website too.
Definitely, yep, definitely. So that's exciting.
Congratulations.
Thank you guys too. You guys had a lot to do with it, we all did, we all had a lot to do with it, so that's
We filed the
exciting.
eval and you will
Well,
get the
you and
award.
Sappy.
Yes, and
did
another
most
award,
of
it's
it.
an award for
Well
the
done,
right,
heavy
yeah.
lifting.
Thank you,
And,
Ted.
and then the recognition.
Other
will be
supplied
26th
data.
Okay,
September,
perfect.
the day before, and Chair's.
Yeah? So that's good news.
Okay. The Anzac Environmental Congress, we have to get Bob to approve who's going, or?
Well, I need to know from here who wants to go. So I know Ted wants to go, but he said if other people want to go in his place, then that's fine. But so we have a budget for sending people.
Right.
We had, that budget is for the whole year for educational opportunities. So I really just need, so the town has to register you, that's the thing. So I
Oh,
kind
okay,
of
we
need
don't,
to
we don't
know.
do it ourselves.
No, if you want, if the town is gonna pay for it, then we register you. So who wants, I basically just need who wants to go.
Put me down.
You're away, you wanna go,
Yeah.
Ted, you wanna go, right? Maria, did you decide?
Yeah, I think I'm not going. If there's another one, that is closer and less expensive, because that's 100,
Well, the township's gonna pay for it.
but we only have $600 in the budget, that's what I understood, so if
Yeah.
imagine, 3 people, they will only have 300 left, and then if
Yeah.
there's another one that is online or closer, like
Yeah,
$50.
you'd rather do that. Okay, that's fine, sure. Walter, I mean, I know it's far, it's at Rowan,
It's
so
far, and it's 100 something, 150 or.
How long?
Ellen, did you wanna go since you're new? I don't know if that's of interest to
I
you,
think-
you might like it.
I don't know. I mean, I'm new, I didn't think I.
Anzac does wonderful stuff.
You probably learn a lot there if you're.
What's the date again?
It's September 27th, it's a
27th,
Friday.
Keep me for another one that is.
I'll keep you for another
cheaper.
one then.
And I can pay half, we can go.
Yeah,
Check my calendar.
usually they had
40
that
minutes,
Trenton
45
State.
That's not bad.
So I'm gonna tell you, Ellen, when
Somebody
it
from
is.
South Jersey must have,
It
but they'd
is
be further south.
Oh,
September
but it's in
27th.
Burlington.
Yeah.
It's not all the way down at Rowan.
Yeah, it's
It's
not.
in the Burlington County,
Exactly.
so it's in Mount Laurel.
So it's a little closer.
Friday, September 27th, 9 to 4.
Well, what I meant was, if enough other people want to go, that it's a significant drain on the budget, I will go on my own money, as I usually have.
Well, we're already in, I mean, this will be September, we'll still have $300 left over for educational opportunities. Some of these webinars really are only $50, $25, yeah. So do you want to go, Ellen? You're welcome to. You can let me know, you don't have to know like
Yeah,
the second,
I'll
you can let me know like
look at my
tomorrow or the next
calendar. I mean, I
day.
do have a few things in there.
Okay,
like
and
a-
can you just email me like either
Yes.
by the end of the week, I would say.
And it's an opportunity to hear Dave Robinson, state climatologist, who lives
Yeah.
here in town.
He lives in Canal Walk.
You can meet your neighbor.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I do have a rain gauge station for what's actually a national program, but he and his graduate student run it for this state, and I've occasionally gotten communications from
Oh,
him.
that's great.
Wow.
Yeah.
You know, the SD
Mass.
station in Warren Township had 5.85 inches of rain
Which day?
yesterday.
Yesterday.
Oh,
And it was up in Connecticut, they got as much as 12. Sandy Hook got 12.
I watched it in
I know,
the
looking at
reports.
the
Yeah,
flooding on
really,
TV.
yeah.
I think the rain barrel has capacity 10 inches, doesn't it?
No, you can have rain barrels in sequence.
Sorry, a rain gauge.
A rain gauge.
Yeah, you have to keep.
Rain barrels are like a thing for me.
Yeah, well, it'll hold up to 10 inches, but if it's that much, you have to go out
And then
during the rain,
Oh,
measure it, dump it, and start again.
Yes.
I've never had that much. I had
Yeah.
5 inches once when they had 8 inches in downtown
Mhm.
Princeton,
how much did you have yesterday morning?
.3.
I got 0.39.
Yeah, I could see it was more just up in the north.
yeah, okay. That,
I feel out of the.
are there any reports from the subcommittees?
Maria.
Maria, is there any report from the education committee?
We are planning to meet, have a meeting next week.
Okay,
And hopefully we'll pick a program for 3.
oh, I need this.
We get on the calendar so I can
September
start
calendar.
promoting
Which
them,
dates will be meeting?
right?
I just mean it-
So the communication committee is holding off until the education committee meets,
Right,
so we have something to say.
I don't know if I'm interested in the education.
and the energy committee hasn't done anything either.
Yeah,
right?
So communications is gonna be after education.
And at the moment, I'm
Sometimes he
the only
called me,
member
there's
of the
no-
communications.
There's no.
Ellen's not on any committees yet.
I think Ellen will help me.
Yeah, I was just wondering about the education
She would
committee,
like to be part of it.
because I have this urge to like communicate with people, educate them, whether it's rain barrels, or voting in your common interest community,
Why
or-
don't you do both? Because I think you already said you'd like to do communications with me since I'm
Oh,
the sole
okay.
agent at the moment.
Hope I don't spread
Well,
myself.
educating is
Yeah, but
communicating.
Jessica was on it.
Educating is communicating.
Okay, that's true.
I don't know why.
I'll give it a
You're
shot.
welcome and welcome.
Okay.
Okay.
So
Go easy on
send
me.
Ellen the email so she can pick a date.
They kind of work hand in hand, so it
Yeah,
works out
I hear that.
okay.
Okay.
I'm putting down that you're joining the communications committee.
Yeah, I'm thinking about
Sounds like I'm
education
putting in the
too.
minutes, and that
But yeah,
means
maybe
you're
we'll
on,
start
and that is
there.
it.
On the energy side,
Okay.
About the
there's
meeting.
nothing doing other than, I'm waiting for the county to do
Because I
something.
really believe,
Has the township got any
education,
bids
I
back
love
yet?
being
Bids
before
on
each
your
judge,
desk?
or our kids making
aggregated
the best
energy?
better.
I don't
helping
know.
them.
So right now in the communications committee, then we have Robin and we have Ellen.
Okay.
Ellen,
I thought we had easy, but you're,
no, Easy's on education
Education.
and site plan.
Okay. Okay.
Easy's like, yeah,
we
don't
got
give me
site
anything
plan,
else.
that's
So
a.
we'll turn then to
Hot topics.
hot topics, anything?
I'd like to bring up roundabouts. I've been doing a lot of reading and researching on roundabouts because I've spent a lot of time in Carmel, Indiana, which is the roundabout capital of the United States.
I thought the Jersey Shore was.
No.
Sorry.
I thought
Those are
Sedona-
circles.
Oh,
There's a difference between a roundabout,
Big
a
circle.
rotary, and a circle, yes.
okay, sorry.
Roundabouts are much smaller. So I took all this, I mentioned it to Joe Danielson. I've had one meeting with him and his
Oh, I like
top assistant policy guy, Jeff. And he's very charged up about this. So I wanted to share that with you. I'll be working with, what's her name from the Assembly's appropriate committee. I forget her name. I have to look at my emails.
Is that
She's very-
Isabel Nunez?
I don't know right now, I'm
I'm
not
working
gonna
with her.
take the time to look it up. But I saw Joe again this past week, and he's very anxious, so I'd like to get the township, the county, and the state all looking at this. The benefits are enormous. Life safety issues, cost savings, but particularly for us, eliminating idling. Vehicles keep moving, it reduces and eliminates road rage. Because they slow down to 20 miles an hour, the fatalities go way, way down, and the injuries go significantly down. In the town of Carmel, Indiana, which is a relatively new town, it's 100,000 people. It's a major suburb of Indianapolis. 100,000 people, 2 traffic lights,
Whoa,
104 roundabouts.
because they have roundabouts?
Wow.
But you have to have space for it.
What
but it's
is, what's
doable.
the circle in Bound
Bound
Brook?
Brook?
What's
It's
that
a
called?
roundabout.
That's a roundabout.
Okay,
It's
it's
a
a travel
roundabout.
that I know what it is.
The road from Scottsdale, Arizona
I love
to,
roundabouts.
In Europe, they have
Saratoga
only roundabouts.
is
I
every,
like that.
To
every
have
mile
lots
or
of
two,
them,
there's a roundabout.
It's so confusing. Absolutely confusing.
That's interesting.
Because Flemington has traffic
Alright.
circle.
Maybe that's something
There
we
are-
should recommending in our
There
site
are at
plan.
least
Oh, yeah.
two in
Go
Princeton.
to Frenchton,
Oh, yeah.
that's.
And there are more and more coming all the time. They're out on Long Island,
It's-
they're coming all the time. I would like to see us get to the point, like safe streets, that when you're doing an improvement or a repair
Yes.
of a certain size, you have to replace a traffic signal with a roundabout.
Ooh,
When you replace it, number one, you're saving money. You don't have to pay any electricity. When there's a power outage, the roundabout keeps working.
Right, right.
The traffic light doesn't. If a truck hits a roundabout, it doesn't knock out people getting around. The life safety is huge. So I'm gonna start with this woman from the assembly, and with Joe, try to put together a campaign, and I'd like to get the mayor involved, and the county, and the state, so that we can all begin to see, I mean, look at Amwell Road and Cedar Brook Lane.
Yeah, that's
Wow.
bad.
If that were a roundabout,
Yeah,
wow.
how much easier that would operate.
yeah.
We're looking at that for the Western Canal Road and Mansville Causeway. And the county's
another
working
one.
on that. I've been working on that for 3 years.
Cousins Lane and Route 27.
Oh,
Unfortunately, I don't think there's room for one at Route 27 on Laurel Avenue.
Yeah.
oh.
27 and which one?
Laurel Avenue in Kingston.
Yeah, that's-
Got too many-
Because there are buildings right smack up to.
It's
And
also
I-
not flat, right? Isn't it, isn't, it doesn't
No,
have
on the other
hill?
side. No, past that. it
It's
doesn't.
past that.
In Europe, where I see a lot of them, where they do them on big roads too, where there's a lot of things coming together, they'll do a series of them. Well, the small roundabout, which feeds off some of the traffic. Then it comes to a bigger roundabout that feeds off to the major arteries, and then another small roundabout. So you kind of go through
Oh,
the series, and it slows everybody down, and then you go on, and nobody is stopped in traffic lights.
Right, very true.
Everything keeps moving.
Don't you need 2 lanes for roundabout?
No.
No? I thought
No.
you needed 2 lanes for roundabout.
If
No,
you
it's one
may,
way.
you
It's
may
one
not.
way.
It
Depends on
depends.
the size and the feeders coming in. I've been on some in Ireland, which is tricky because they go the other way.
Oh, you're
Right.
Yeah.
And you
Don't
have to
go
get
the
in the right lane inside the roundabout
Right.
to get off at certain places.
Yeah.
But they are happening more and more in Europe. They're mandatory in most places. And in new construction, it's easy.
Easy.
You've got space,
Yeah,
and right away, you look at the cost of the roundabout versus an electrified traffic signal, it's a no-brainer. It's harder when there's already a built-up area, but if we can build it into legislation so that if you're doing X level of improvements,
right.
you gotta make the switch out.
Yeah, that makes sense.
We'd have less screeching brakes, we'd have less kids hurt on bicycles,
Yeah.
we'd have, I've got some great materials, I'll email them to you for a
Okay.
future meeting, where
Perfect.
you can see the fatalities and accidents in a traditional intersection versus a roundabout, and how the graphics of that are fascinating. So
Robin, is there a positive environmental impact, like reduced exhaust emissions?
no idling.
No idling.
I mean,
Less
no,
idling.
no stopping at a red light.
No idling, yeah.
Yeah. So,
Also, you can put
and maybe better
vegetation
gas
in the-
mileage, because you're still
Yes.
moving, you're not, so I mean, there's a lot of
And
positive.
no last minute screeching on the brakes, so
Yeah.
the sound pollution is reduced.
Will we have to change driver education?
Yeah.
Yes.
Actually, so I want to
Because people need to learn how to do
add
this.
something what Robin just said. So exactly what she described, I found in a YouTube channel, Ricky, and his channel is called 2-Bit Da Vinci. I'm going to send link to everyone.
Okay.
It was 5 months old, and it includes some charts about statistics, just to improve what Robin is
Awesome.
talking about.
Right.
And he's deliberately stating that the traffic lights are where most accidents and fatal accidents happen. While in roundabouts, it's substantially better.
Here, let me just show you guys this. This is a conventional intersection with lots of little dots. This is a roundabout.
Yeah.
The orange dots are vehicle-to-vehicle conflict points. So there's about 25 at a traditional intersection. There's 8 at a roundabout.
Oh, my
The
goodness.
blue dots are vehicle-pedestrian conflict zones, and there are 12 or 14 right here in the middle at a conventional, and there are 8 way out here in a roundabout. So you're taking the pressure off from right here, spreading it out and slowing it down. Nobody's racing to make the yellow light.
Right.
Right, oh, right. Gotta get
So-
through that yellow before.
I like it.
I have a whole database of articles and
I
things
love
like
it.
that.
Westfield?
Could be.
Not that
What do you
Burke is
think the
fighting that
reaction of the
West-
former traffic officer will be?
Well, we know what his favorite word is. But I wonder if statistics on safety makes
No.
sense to get his attention. But I'd be happy to send this list to everybody.
Yeah.
With all these links of the articles I've been reading from the Federal Highway Safety Administration, from the engineer in Carmel, Indiana. He'll come and speak. He's retired now, but this engineer went to Oxford on a Rhodes Scholarship, no pun intended. Came back and said, in the 80s, and said, the Brits are doing roundabouts, or Europe is, why aren't we? He went to work for Carmel, Indiana. The mayor signed on, and slowly over time, they now have over 100 roundabouts in the town. And that's where I got to know it, because we visit this family once or twice a year, and you just keep moving. And they're lovely, they're landscapes. And a community, a neighborhood can put a little something in the middle to be their identifier. There's a town in the south of France called Cavaillon. Cavaillon is the melon capital of France. They grow more beautiful, they look like little cantaloupes than anywhere else in France. They have a 30-foot melon in the middle of their roundabout. So when you come into Cavaillon, you know
where
you're
you
in the
are.
melon capital. It creates an artistic opportunity as well.
Yeah.
The ones in Princeton don't have anything in the middle, just low rocks, and there's not
Yes.
even a curb really.
And that's an expression waiting to happen. Somebody should do something like that. But I'd be happy to share this with everybody. I'm
Yeah.
How does it move from here to where next?
Well, I think, number one, we make it a requirement for new developer, where developers are building a community or affecting an intersection, we make it a requirement. Whether the town can do that on a town street, the county on a county street, the state on a state street. So that's new construction. I think for existing, this is not my specialty, but having read the safe street stuff, if you do a certain amount of work and you're getting funding, you have to do better crosswalks. You have to do certain things under the Safe Streets regulation. I think that's federal highway.
Yeah.
This could be something similar. If you're making improvements to an intersection of a certain level,
Yeah.
you got to turn it into a roundabout.
Yeah, you need the specs.
So these things are default. They're not one at a time. It's built
I
into the
think
system.
planning board should be involved with that, right?
Mhm.
Good point.
So it's the beginning of a learning curve, and I'd be happy if you wanted to learn along with me.
It could be
I
the
love
beginning
it.
of an infrastructure shift,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
We rarely
Red
get
to
things
green and
big
now
enough
from-
anymore to require them.
But when some redevelopment starts to happen, and it will over time, it's something we
Well,
can.
redevelopment has been happening in the RPM area, off 27
Yep.
between Franklin Boulevard and Churchill Avenue.
Yep. Yep. So,
Okay.
that's
And
my
that's
hot
all.
topic
Very good.
du jour.
I have one,
That's
Okay.
great.
what, maybe it's not hot, but let's say the campaign against, two-cycle leaf blowers is not dead. There's a study recently showing sort of the trend across the country, and California, I think in '23, had a public law that became effective in July of this year, banning leaf blowers and string,
We, yeah.
Weed
Yeah.
whackers?
Yeah.
weed whackers,
Gas
and really all sort of two-cycle powered lawn equipment.
Gasoline powered?
Yeah, gasoline powered, and the study also showed that the workers are happy because they are breathing all that stuff. And, they might not
And the
say anything
noise.
now, but they
And the
know.
noise, hearing
Yeah,
protection.
and the noise, of course, that's main.
I've
the
read
main
that
one.
those two-stroke
But that's
engines
not
of the
gonna
leaf
take
blower,
the
that guy's the equivalent of the emissions of 30 cars.
Exactly,
They do that
Because
in
it
my
doesn't have
green
emission system.
Right.
that's right. And it also say there are a number of other states, I think 2 or 3, Boston may be one, Mass. I don't know what the other ones are, also researching, are considering, a ban against those type of injuries.
There are towns in New Jersey that do have those
Township.
requirements, yeah. And
Again.
certain times of the year that they have to use electric.
Yeah.
Maplewood in those areas, I
Right.
think, or Milburn, I
Yeah.
think it's Maplewood.
They're really ahead of the game.
And the owners of these lawn care companies have found that the initial investment is high, but overall, on a day-to-day basis, it's cheaper to operate an all-electric fleet rather than have the other ones.
Yep.
So the data is trending in the right direction.
Oh,
It may come to,
I think in Princeton, the town actually pays 1/5 of the cost if they switch to
Oh, yeah?
electric.
oh my goodness.
That's very forward thinking.
I have wanted for a while to have Franklin Township develop a revenue stream for sustainability initiatives, just like that. I was at once asking about a real estate transfer tax, which has to happen at the state level. But if we passed an open space tax in Franklin years ago, which developed a pool that allows us to buy open space. If we could pass a sustainability tax that allows us to develop a pool of funds,
Sustainable friendly.
that would allow us to support initiatives like that.
Yeah.
Defray 20% of the cost for a landscaper. Help support more solar installation. But I think this got floated past Lou Raynone at my request.
Yes.
And Lou said, give us some examples of what you want to see it used for. And I need your help. Help us come up with a list. If we could start develop a pot based on a modest sustainability tax that, if it should pass, that we would build a kitty that could be used for sustainable things here in Franklin. There'd be money to do these things that we all know make sense. But we need example, and that's a perfect example.
Yeah.
So
But
keep your thinking caps
That would
on.
require overhead, right? Have an employee dedicated for that.
Well, it would certainly fall within Warren Locker's administration of things, whether he needs a new person, whether he can take a current consultant and add 10 more hours a month, or...
Yeah, for example.
And the
Yeah.
tax would be paid by whom? All the citizens or?
That's the extra, as you
Yeah,
mentioned.
like our open space tax.
Okay.
There'd be a line on the tax bill.
We have to, we ought to find something attached to
Attach
fund
it
it, like the tree fund.
Yes, I would love to, because I thought real estate transfer would be good, but that's a state level, that's not a municipal level. So we need something at the municipal level, that if we could, that would actually act as a disincentive for an activity we don't like a sin tax. Put it on something we don't like. To help reduce.
Oh,
A
sounding a little
sin tax.
puritanical.
Hey,
What is that?
maybe we can draw on the money the township gets for hot shops, because we do.
Where is that
There's
money
a
going?
fund
Yeah.
that's not otherwise dedicated?
What shop?
It's probably going into the general
Marijuana.
fund.
Oh,
But it sounds like, I mean, that was one reason. But this township is like an island. Every town around it I don't know about the
There we
Brunswick,
go.
but we're the only town in Somerset County that agreed to have them. Princeton doesn't, South Brunswick doesn't, which is
So
why
we're a
they're
mecca.
popping up in Kingston. Kingston is
Really
not happy about it.
There's-
But
there's
actually, the one right in the
by us
middle
on
of
Elizabeth Hill. in the-
Yes,
where
I
the
know.
Wells
I got
Fargo
one at
is.
the end of my, 200 yards from my house.
What, the exhaust?
I think they're about
Is it
10
too
or
late
10 or
to-
12 around, yeah.
put it there? Is that a natural tie? That
Well, it's,
it is a form of, so Stan wanted to know what a syntax is. A syntax is a tax.
S-I-N.
Yes.
Oh, we have it in Europe for gas.
Yeah.
That's a
Right. It's
syntax.
right, it is.
Yeah.
But it's usually liquor, cigarettes, that
Oh,
kind of thing.
yeah. We have it for gas. That's why Europe has more expensive gas at first place.
That's right, it's why Europe also has much better public transportation.
Of course, we do.
So, but any of those ideas of what we could use this kind of funding for, that is an incentive for good behavior, or just the township itself, making its buildings more sustainable, we could use this fund for that.
Okay.
But I think if it's gonna come from anybody in Franklin Township, it's gotta come from this commission, nobody else is gonna come up with
Yeah.
it.
The thing is that those type of taxes, it's better to put it at a higher level, not just
But
down.
our open space, we did that here.
And open space is on the tax
And,
bill.
and Princeton's got a sustainability budget. They're getting the money from somewhere.
Yeah.
And other towns are as well. So please think about funding
Okay.
sources as well as other towns you might hear of if they're doing it. How are they building that kitty to take
I'm
those
just trying to think
initiatives?
of, why do the citizens always have to pay for everything? What about the landscaping companies? Wouldn't it benefit them? Could they?
but they're the
pay
people
tax?
that have to pay to buy new
New equipment.
equipment.
They're the ones that we
What I
wanna give
brought
them
up was
grants.
that Princeton actually pays them 1/5 of the cost of buying an electric
To convert.
You want to focus on the corporations to
Yeah, that's what I'm
collect money
thinking. Yeah,
from
because
them,
they've
because
got the
these
deep
are the
pockets.
bastards.
Well, Ted makes a good point that the development activity right now, or the commercial activity, is in these distribution, what do we call them? There's a better word for that.
dispensary.
Dispensaries.
Yeah.
Dispensary.
That's where the activity level is, but they're individual small businesses. Is there another, I mean, warehouses, we've hopefully pushed aside.
I hope so.
What's the other activity level that we could impose this upon that would render some meaningful funds? A sustainability fund.
Well, whoever wants to build new gas station, I will rip them.
The gas stations seem to be decreasing. I mean, a lot of gas stations have gone away from Route 1.
Oh, yeah, you see
There
them.
was one at Aaron,
I'm
it's a
not paying
bank.
much attention.
There was
to that.
one at Finnegan's,
Mhm.
gone. There was one at New Road, gone.
The Shell
There
station
was
on
one
Route
at
1.
Henderson,
Yeah.
gone.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the one at Finnegan.
Yeah.
Because here in exit 10, we got new one, Quick Check, I think it's called.
Yeah, quick check.
Well, think about sources and uses of a sustainability fund. This is where we need some good thinking, and then we come up with a proposal, and we develop our own source of money to do the things we see are important to do. Because if we wait for the county and the state to do it, the town did it itself with open space. Maybe we can do it with sustainability.
Oh, we could give grants for rain gardens.
Yep.
Yeah.
Particularly to not-for-profits and other groups that have a substantial piece of property, and, yeah.
What about common interest communities? I was trying to get my board to consider rain barrels. 20th century thinkers.
Unfortunately, you cannot charge singers.
Okay, we're moving to old business.
Yep. Thank you for listening.
That was good.
For SJ, PSE&G Partners and Energy Efficiency Grant.
So the grant continues to move on. There was a webinar last week. It was recorded. They're gonna send it out. So as soon as I
Okay.
get it, I'll
Thank
forward
you.
it, because I was away last week.
Okay.
And we're working on, there's a video that will go on the website that Sustainable Jersey has prepared as part of the grant. And that has to be recorded, so I'm just trying to organize dates for that, so.
Okay.
we'll move along.
Okay. The promotion, we've been talking about educational items for the tables. What do we, and Franklin Day is getting closer.
Yeah, so
So
I
we need
just
to-
kept
we
that
need-
on the, so at the last meeting, so I kept it on the agenda as like kind of a placeholder. The printing bid is out, so we have to wait for printers to come on board now because our old printing bid expired. So I have the list that Maria sent and everyone said we should do. There was 3 things. I think it was business cards, what was the other thing?
banner.
The banner,
The banner.
and there was a 3rd thing.
Yeah.
What was it?
Cloth.
Table,
The teacher?
Tablecloth.
cover,
The
tablecloth.
cloth, you said
Yeah.
that it will be.
We're gonna get a tablecloth as part of this grant, but we were
No,
saying
that's
it not the
fine.
It's not
fitted
the
one.
protection.
Yeah, so we could do a tablecloth, but we have the list Maria and the education committee put together. As soon as that comes on, then we can order it.
What's happening for Franklin Day?
Well,
I don't know.
last year, we've always had a table
I
in
know
the,
that.
in the government tent. And
We have
don't
some
any
items
giveaways.
from,
Who's gonna
Stop
man
the
it?
Soot.
I've been there.
All of us.
All of us, we take turns.
Are
Take
we going to
turns,
have
you
this done
know.
by then?
Walter and I
I
have done it a
don't
lot.
think so. The
Yeah.
printed stuff, probably not, because we have to wait for the
I would
printer.
recommend, I will not be there, because it's the 28th,
I think it's the
Yeah, I think
28th.
so.
So the
yeah.
day after the NJAC conference. I would
Yeah.
recommend you get this stuff from NJAC, like we did for the high school green fair. That way you've got things on the tabletop to bring people
Yeah.
over and talk to them.
Yeah.
And see if Deanie can drop it off for somebody, because just you standing there, I'm sorry,
I know.
Paul, you're really handsome, but you are not enough to
Thank
get
you.
people to come to the table.
We do have, I got a box of, so Sustainable Jersey sent us these save the date cards for our campaign, so we have those. I did get a bunch of new things
Yeah,
from
you gave a box of
the
red.
anti-idling, so I got a
Yeah.
whole new box of
Oh, so you
things,
have
so we
some.
have some things to give out. But if we could get some stuff from Anjek, so I don't know, Maria, if you can reach out to them, or if you want me to, that would be great, to have some extra things.
And if you can get a teenager or 2 to work the outside of the table, don't stand behind the table, so you engage people as they're
Yeah.
walking by
Yeah.
and say, hey, take a look at this, or play this game, do that real thing they have. I highly encourage it. I wish my timing were different.
Well, we used to have LED bulbs.
Yeah, we used to give them out.
away, But,
I had a whole.
I know that, but this is now.
yeah, I know that,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah.
We
Do
need
you want me
new
to reach
now.
out again to, last year the county gave us the composter for free, remember? And I think
Oh,
we gave that
yeah.
away to somebody. I don't know if they'll give us another one, but I can ask them.
Yeah.
Sure.
I can ask.
Okay.
And then
Raffle
get,
it.
That's what we did last year. Did we raffle it? Yeah, we did. We had like sign-ups, I
I
guess,
wasn't
or?
there, I can't tell you.
Okay. Okay. Naaman Williams Memorial Park, potential Eagle Scout project.
So we talked about this more at the last meeting, but we do have an Eagle Scout that's interested in doing some of the
Yes.
green infrastructure work by the playground at Naaman Williams Park. So I am working with him on, he will make a presentation to the Open Space Advisory Committee about it, because that's really the process. But he's very interested in working on that. So if he does that, that'll be great. And he'll also use it to get his Eagle Award, so working on that.
That brings me to mind, we talked about having a youth member of the Environmental Commission. Did that get anywhere?
Yeah, so I sent that to Ed Potasnik and basically told him, because it's gonna have to be recommended through council.
Right.
I sent him the idea about it. He said he was going to talk to some of his colleagues to see how other environmental commissions work that, if they have a youth member. So I'm waiting to hear back.
Anjak could help with that, because
Yes.
they know, it's in the Anjak handbook.
Yeah.
Right.
That you can have youth members, so they.
I recommended him, I told him it's allowed, but before I guess he goes, he wants to kind of do some research on it, because he's our liaison, that would bring that to the council, so he's working
Good.
on it.
Okay, so then if there's any other old business.
Yeah,
oh,
wait,
Oh, you have
I
some?
have some.
Okay.
I don't want us to forget the digital environmental resource inventory
Right, that was on your list.
that we have.
Yeah.
We have a quote already. This is the kind of thing, I think, we want to keep our eyes and ears open of any grant money that could help us convert what we have on our website that is PDF and turn it into interactive, really meaningful things that I think the planning board and the zoning board would find really helpful. They're looking at an application, go on our ERI and see what environmental resources are right there, and be careful what you approve. Because they're not going to go to the website and go looking through PDFs. So, and there is a possible 20,000 for Sustainable Jersey, but we know we need to close
We have
out
to
the
close
Naaman
out our
Williams
grants,
grant
yeah.
first. Skip the stuff. That's the model
Ordinance.
ordinance we've
Right.
talked about, and people wanted time to review it. I think we've had it out there for quite a while. What do you all recommend? Do you want me to bring it back at the next meeting? So maybe we can approve it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Okay.
I would bring it back, and if you want me to, edit it, or if you're gonna edit it for, so that's specific for us, and bring
Okay.
it back, yeah.
Okay, and then I'll send it to you, and then we'll get it up here on the screen.
I think
it's sort of like the straw area where it's there, but
You have to request
you have
it.
to request it.
Right.
yeah, and it doesn't work.
Well, we have to educate the businesses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Skip the Stuff is taking it to the next level, and it's pretty much extension or next level of the bag ban.
Yes.
And
yes.
it needs to be the same, start with grassroots and at the municipal level, so that when the state is seeing that lots of towns are adopting
Then
it.
they'll make it a
Yeah,
state. Yep,
yeah,
I
that's
completely
what
agree.
happened with.
And when we were doing our own ordinance for the bag ban, we spent too much time on details,
Yes,
and I think we should just take it easy.
and do it. I'll bring it
Yeah.
and let's approve it and get it to council.
Yeah,
And, Arnie may be a stickler, but I think if we need to, we just override him, because he loves to wordsmith this stuff
Yes.
ad nauseum, and nothing happens. So, okay,
Yeah.
that's next meeting.
Okay.
I see
Stormwater
we should bring it
utility.
today, so it's not.
I think we want to keep talking about stormwater utilities. That's a way to get some funding in to do sustainable things.
Mm-hmm.
I know Ed's very much in favor of it. I know Bob Warlock is very much against it. New Brunswick's just passed one,
Uh,
and I think 5 inches of rain in 45 minutes? What did we have the other day?
Technically 24 hours, but yes.
Yeah, how bad does it have to get before we pay attention?
I know, yeah.
And the last thing in my old business is putting our goals on our website.
Yes, I'm getting to it, absolutely, yeah. Let me read it again here. Goals on website, yes.
You're done.
That was good.
Oh, yeah, it's all good stuff.
I'm sorry, what was that last one?
Updating our goals on our website.
Oh, yeah.
Tara developed this great spreadsheet of the things we've done and are working on and want to do. But if you look at what's on our website, it has nothing to do.
I had
Yeah,
trouble with it.
I have that on
With
here.
goals, do we have like an estimated deadline? I work better under.
She's got a huge spreadsheet, it's all in there. We approved
Okay,
this
all right.
beginning of the year, and maybe
That's
we could
good.
send you a copy.
I'll send you a copy, and we work on it every year, and we kind of like update it based on priorities and what grants we have.
I like a
and things
good
that,
goal,
just
a target,
Yeah.
and then a deadline. Keeps me
All
motivated.
of those things have to go through
Yeah.
both one level, you know.
Okay,
Oh,
very
yeah,
good.
I know Mr. Bourne.
Okay, I'm going
We do
to
know.
ask
Yeah,
for a
maybe
motion
so.
to open the floor to public
So moved.
comment.
Speakers.
So moved. Anybody second it?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Open, open comment, Billy, got any closing words? Okay.
The move to close.
Motion to close,
Second.
all in
Okay.
favor?
Aye.
Yes.
Motion to adjourn,
Yes.
So moved.
all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank
you.
This was a good meeting.